Good afternoon, everybody. It's always that tricky moment of knowing whether the Zoom is going to work for everybody. We've got lots of people registered, and so I will let everybody in. I think I've met everybody before, but for those of you that don't know me, my name is Emma Goode. I'm the founder of digital marketing agency 24 Fingers. We are based in Essex, but we help people all around the world to get more digits on their bottom line through digital marketing. So it's my absolute pleasure today to be hosting this Ask Me Anything session for the next hour. Please pick my brain, share what's going on for you, share what you're loving, any quick wins that you've had this week. But equally, if there's anything driving you absolutely insane and making you want to throw the computer out of the window, I'm here to help and demystify any social media, SEO, website, lead generation, funnel question that you might have. So I've got some pre-submitted questions, but I would love to give you guys as much value as possible in this session. So please do feel free to take yourself off mute. And if anybody has got a burning question, feel free to kick off.
I don't mind starting off.
Go for it, Sarah. Nice to see you.
Thank you. I'm new to you. So I use the free version of Ahrefs to keep an eye on my websites. And I had a massive success followed by a huge downfall of lost keywords. So I found myself, found Site Guru today. I don't know if you know Site Guru. It's just SEO. It's just an SEO audit. It's not got anything else, but it is very thorough and it does seem to be quite good. They actually tell you what keywords have gone down. So I'm working through that today and I'm quite excited about it because it seems to be quite a good piece of software. But yeah, really, I just wanted to air with you the fact that I've actually, let me just bring up my Ahrefs page and I think there's quite a fair few of I've lost 176 organic keywords. Is that
Was,
normal or
did that happen quite recently, Sarah? I'm wondering
well,
whether
is it like an algo update or something, do you think?
Yeah, so recently Google have released a new algorithm update, and I'm wondering whether your site was affected. Was it in the last couple of weeks that you saw this happen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
Coincided with it, hasn't it?
I think so. I think so. So something to ask yourself. Now, obviously, don't know what the content was that you dropped, but maybe something to ask yourself going forward. Was the content relevant? How long was the content? Was it blogs of like 300 words or was it meaty chunks? Did it have internal links to other blog pages on your website? How well structured was it? It would be good to understand what thing about it Google didn't like, because 176 to lose kind of overnight, I should imagine is quite depressing for you and quite frustrating. So we want to make
Yeah,
sure
because
that
I
the
was watching it going up and I was quite proud because I thought, oh, have I done something right for once? Because they're
yeah,
like
yeah.
the graph was going up. I'm wondering
Mhm.
if maybe I should look at the pages that
I
have
think so.
gone down rather than the keywords.
I think so. Look at the content that's been affected. You should see a commonality, whether it's a poorly structured page, whether you had any kind of spammy stuff in there, whether the content was thin. And that should give you an idea of what Google didn't like in order for you to then not
Make
have the same
make a
problem
note. Yeah.
the next
Yeah,
time.
definitely. So if I could, like you said, if I can see a pattern, it might give
Yeah.
me some answers. So basically check pages rather than actual keywords.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that will
Yeah.
give you some level of understanding as to kind of what they did or didn't like, if that helps.
Yeah, it does help. Thank you. I mean, I did think about the last update, but you don't really know until you start talking to people or actually mending something with success, do you? So
Well, that's why you're here. So yeah, great question. And I think for everybody on the call, especially when Google do update their algorithms, always good to check on a monthly basis how your site is performing. If you've done work on SEO, it's always a good idea to see how your keywords are ranking month on month. And if you do see drastic changes, you can take kind of remedial action fairly quickly.
Yeah, if I get any light bulb moments, I'll certainly report back, as it were.
Please do. Nice to see you, Sarah. What is your business as a matter of interest?
So what I'm referring to at the moment is my e-commerce business. I make dog leads, not just
Mm,
dog leads, like other things, collars and what have you. But so that's my main income, and I'm quite particular about following it all on the Ahrefs dashboard. I don't pay for it.
brilliant.
I audit the pages, the website sort of once a week and keep an eye on it. But I've just I've just set up in digital marketing and web design. It's something that I've always been into. I'm aware that it's probably not the greatest niche to go into, but I do it because it makes me happy. I love tinkering, It's not my main income, so if it makes me happy, that's a win for
Is
today.
it is a passion project? Nice to see you,
I've not
Sarah.
even, I've not officially launched yet, but I'm like in the pre-launch phase. I
Excellent.
shall probably be singing and dancing if I get a client. But
Well,
yeah,
nice to see you. Thank you very much
thanks.
for the question. I'm going to wave hello to my good friend Lynn from Florida. Hi, Lynn.
Hey girl, we're experiencing hurricane weather right now, so I might cut
I
in or out.
heard.
I lost power at home, so I'm on my phone. But one, I was excited to
Ah,
be
bless
here.
you. I just got off another call with some guys, and they were talking about the hurricane. Yeah,
We'll be good. We're very central, but power goes out pretty quick and easy here.
global warming, isn't it?
It's our power lines and company.
How you doing? Any questions? Anything going on? We need to catch up, but
Um,
anything that I
yeah.
can help with?
I'm excited for what you had posted, the 3 questions that you were going to go over. I'm taking on a ton of new stuff right now with volunteering for the school boosters board and doing their social media. I don't know if you got my voice text in WhatsApp, but I'm like, oh my gosh, all this marketing stuff I learned from you is paying off huge in so many ways. And I'm like, who is this woman speaking all this stuff? I've impressed a lot of people. Thank you.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure. I'm super proud of what you're doing.
It's more about organizing it all now and making sure I'm putting the time is spread so thin, and I'm not in overwhelm, but I don't want to cross that line into it because there's like
Mm,
6 different businesses I'm involved with helping, and then Facebook pages and then groups and where to put
mm.
my time and invest that. So that would
You're such a superwoman.
woo! Keeps me going. It's just like Sarah said, it's a passion.
Did you want me to answer that thing about keeping consistent or organizing, or have you got that covered?
Well, anything that you share about that, or if we do that privately too, if that's more
I,
helpful.
I think what I would say is think about like an asset and then think about how you can repurpose the asset. So if you go away and write a blog, the blog can be very easily repurposed into social. The blog, if you voice noted it, it could very easily go into a podcast. Once you've got the podcast, it could very easily be transcribed into a blog. Once you've got a video, that could easily be repurposed into a blog podcast. So I would think about like creating one thing, and then there should be about 14 different things you get out of the one thing. So you could do social media, you could do a lead magnet, a podcast, a blog, a book, um, an ad. Like there's many things. So think about like what your one starting point would be. And personally for me, I think video, because video covers everything. You can extract audio from a video, you can extract text from a video, you can use your video in ads. And as we all know, a video has much more impact than plain text or just an image. So for me, I personally would say video first.
Do you recommend a length for the video for mostly like social media?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do like a sound bite, I would say like 30 seconds, sub 30 seconds. That's key. If you are explaining more of a complex topic, um, you could go to a minute, and that would be Instagram story length, which is cool. And then you could go on. I wouldn't do over 10 minutes because I think you would definitely get kind of fatigue. I could listen to you all day long, darling, but just in case, yeah, I would say like 5 to 10 minutes would be a good a point. And then once you've got a 5 to 10 minute video, you can then cut it up as well, and you could then repurpose that into 60-second segments.
Just put a couple of videos, apps in the chat in relation to what you've just said. InShot, I've got a paid subscription for that. And that does good AI cuts. So it cuts out irrelevant stuff, and it does captioning, but the captioning's not as good as VDIO. So I do AI cuts in InShot and then do captioning in VDIO.
Okay, thank you.
So sometimes it, like if you've got the telly on, obviously it'll pick stuff up from that as well. And you kind of do have to go through it if you're a bit, funny about whether it's accurate or not. But yeah, it's a shame there's two different apps to do the job that you want, one job. But yeah, I found they were really good.
I think one thing you've got, Lynn, is like you're really happy on camera and you're comfortable on camera, and that is a huge advantage from perhaps somebody that's a little bit resistant about video. So because you're really bubbly and because you know your craft so well, and because I personally find you really uplifting, that will come across really well on social. So like get yourself out there. And I know over the past year how much more video you've done, and I'm sure that you can see that in your reflected in your stats too.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you both. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing those two. And thank you
That's
for
all
saying
right.
that, Emma, because it keeps me doing it rather than like, oh,
You're
am
a
I too
smiley
much?
person.
Yeah, I'm bubbly. I can be a bit much for some, but they can just say, nope, this isn't for me.
Never too much. Lynn, never too much. Aisha, hi, nice to see you again. Hi, Paul. Hi, Tina. Hi, Nick. Anything that I can answer for you guys?
Based on what Sarah was just saying earlier, I'm curious how often are these platforms changing their algorithm? So you said Google changed it recently. Is it a monthly process and you have to adapt and relearn it all the time? Or is there anything you can do to maybe, just get ahead of the game one way or another?
Yeah, I think the danger is that we never know when they're going to change their algorithm. But for example, on Google, they don't change it every month. Certainly, they'll be doing like quarterly, 6 month, yearly updates. Thankfully, because otherwise, a huge amount of websites would be affected. Once you launch it, once you start being on social and using the apps daily, you start to see the changes. So, for example, you'll start to see the changes in how people design their posts. You'll start to see the changes in terms of structure of posts. Like nowadays, for example, there's a big trend to having text over video, and that's like a big thing. And then suddenly there'll be a new type of design. The one thing that does change on a daily basis, though, is trending audio. So if you go into, for example, TikTok and Instagram, you'll get a feel for what audio is trending, not, and you'll be able to see a little arrow sign to show you which audio tracks are making like a rising. And I would 100% recommend keeping a track on those, because if you use trending audios, you're going to get better reach. So that's a daily thing, I would say, but the other stuff is going to be months rather than days for sure.
Got it.
Thank you. So Aisha, I hope you're well. So how do I get started with Facebook ads? How to spend on an ad for a new client who's never done ads before. So I don't know whether you've heard of something called Facebook Pixels. Facebook Pixel is a piece of code that links your website to Facebook, Instagram, Meta, so WhatsApp and Messenger. And essentially it tells Facebook the kind of person that's visiting your website following your page, following you on Instagram, and commenting and interacting with you. So from that information, Facebook and Instagram can go and find other people that demographically match your ideal client persona, so ICP or your client avatar. And with that technology, you can do crazy things like I could target somebody that lives within a certain radius to me that has a child that drinks Costa coffee, that recently liked Nike on Facebook. It's that detailed. And with that level of data, you've got basically a footprint, and you can go and tell Facebook or Google or LinkedIn or Insta to go and find you more ideal clients like that. There is a caveat, however, you need to have enough data within Facebook for it to have enough rich data, shall we say, and that's where spending money comes in. So you will need to get 50 events per week on Facebook in order to give it rich data. And what I mean by an event is somebody that visiting your website, following you, interacting with your page, downloading something that you've put onto Facebook, and if you can, or purchasing from your website. And if you can get 50 of these events, Facebook can then go and optimize for that event. So really good example. Over the summer, I was working on a festival, and at the beginning of the campaign, I'll be optimizing for page views, so people that have been to the website. As I get 50 per week, I can then move the optimization event down the funnel to add to cart. So somebody's gone onto the website, they've put the tickets for the festival in their cart, but perhaps they haven't purchased. Once I've got 50 add to carts, I can move them down the funnel to purchase, and I can then do it again to checkout. And essentially, the more information I pump to Facebook, the more people that it knows purchase rather than just viewed, the richer my data will become. And then I can go and target for the people that are ready to buy rather than people that are ready to browse. If you don't have that Facebook pixel installed already, then you're going to have to spend to get the events. If you've had a Facebook pixel on for years, then your journey will be quicker, and you can optimize for a higher converting event like purchase or checkout as opposed to browse. So it really does depend on the wealth of data, the richness of data that Facebook and Instagram have on you or have on the website, to how much you need to spend. Everyone needs to spend a certain amount to get that data or get those event quantities. It just depends how far down the funnel people are. Does that make sense, Aisha? I explained that right. I tried not to be too techie on that one. Oh, brilliant, cool. And so you asked about an asset. So what assets need to be created for paid ads? So just to echo what I've said before, I think if you've got a video nowadays on a paid ad, that's really engaging. So to give you an example, I ran a campaign for a client who's advertising a retreat in Portugal in April, and we split tested two visuals. One was a flat image, one was video, and the video by absolutely far outstripped everything. And they got I think they got 30 leads in their first week, and they didn't have to spend so much money to get those 30 leads, and it was due to the power of the creative. So if you can get video, amazing. The next one would be image, for sure. Do remember to optimize per placement, so you won't want the same ad going out on Instagram stories as you do on Facebook desktop, for example. So do make sure that you check those specs, because that's going to be hugely important when you're looking at your cost per acquisition, or CPA, as it's sometimes heard. You can really get that cost per acquisition down if you optimize for the right platform, the right placement. And again, just on video, please make sure you subtitle it, because 80% of people do watch videos without sound. So if you can subtitle it, you're going to keep those audiences engaged. Top tip there. Hope that helped. Who else have we got on? Tina, Paul? Anything I can help you with, Tina, Paul?
Hiya. It's my
Hiya.
first time joining here, but
Oh,
I
nice
thought
to
I'd
see you.
just listen in. thought there would be like a lecture on like those 3 points on the poster. But essentially, I am trying to do content creating more seriously now.
Yeah.
I think I get told that in order to be successful with your personal branding, you need a niche. So
Mm.
I'm trying, and I'm not quite sure um like what my hyper niche is going to be.
Mm. What is your business, Tina?
So it's not quite a business. It's essentially just starting to build a following on Instagram and TikTok at the moment.
So what's your content? What's your subject matter?
So it's quite broad at the moment, but in the back of my mind, I'm working towards branding myself. Um, when I do launch my book that I've been working on, it's a poetry and prose book about healing.
Oh,
Um,
amazing.
yeah. But at the same time, I'm really interested in fashion, and just documenting and vlogging. So I do that on the side too.
So I guess my question for you, and you again, you might not know or be able to answer this immediately, is like what problem you trying to solve or what you trying to help people with?
I I think for that, I think it's more to the problem I'm trying to solve is with like stuff that I go through to like normalize talking about it. So make people feel more seen with
Okay.
um working in tech, which I do, like that's my 9 to 5. So
Okay.
working in tech and um running some workout stuff that I do. Yeah, it's quite undefined at the moment.
Is so I'm guessing then if you're in tech, is the premise helping tech people or people in tech rather live authentically and work authentically and be visible and kind of stand up for and show people what they're all about as opposed to hide in the background perhaps is that it or
It's partially it. I think it's the yeah, I definitely want to like be a voice of like living authentically and working authentically to be yourself.
mm,
But also leaning on to like fashion because it's like such a big part of me to be able
mm,
to like dress my mood, like dress how I feel, dress so that it's like a comfort armor for me.
mm. Maybe the thing then is about kind of expressing yourself in your different realms because if you go on and create content around running or blogging or fashion, how
Mm.
I'm feeling is that you're going to attract kind of the people that are interested in fashion, but not necessarily your tech people. If you go on about running, you're going to attract kind of people that are really into health and fitness, perhaps not into fashion. And I think you could use the aspects of your personality, so stylish, healthy, into well-being. That could be part of your actual content, but your message is about how to help people in tech, but you express it through your fashion, you express it through your daily behaviors, you express it through your mindset tips, that kind of thing.
Yeah, possibly. I think you put it well. Yeah, I think I would love to brand myself that I am like a stylish, someone who's trying to be healthy and active, but
Mm.
also help people get into healing in their own healing journey and confidence in
Yeah,
working in tech or outside of tech.
yeah. I think if you niche down to tech, then you've got a highly targetable audience. 'Cause one of the problems you'll find if you haven't got a niche is that you'll kind of speak to everybody, but also speak to nobody at the same time. Whereas at least if you say, I want to target people in tech, you can target them by job title. You can run ads for employees of certain tech companies. So it's much easier for you to find your people. And then your actual content, the imagery of you, what you talk about is how you express yourself through your kind of hobbies or through your passions or through kind of what makes you alive. Um, But underneath all of that, you know exactly who you're targeting, you know pretty much your age group, you know their pain points, you know what it's like working with tech because you've got that inherent knowledge. And I think you will be able to speak with an authority and be very relatable if you do that.
Yeah, I think the question I asked myself, I think I am in position to channel my voice because of my background in tech, but I'm also super interested to like make makeup videos, skincare videos, like fashion videos, and I'm worried like if I'm again like spreading myself too far that maybe I won't have like a clear brand.
Yeah, I hear you because I've got lots of different ideas and different plans as well. And I think as entrepreneurs, it can be really easy to spread ourselves too thin and not do kind of one thing super in depth. So I personally would pick a group of people that you really want to support. So it could be women of X age or people working in tech. Find your audience and then express your messages through what makes you alive, but do have a clear, defined audience because that way you're going to know what their pain points are. I mean, you can always do your kind of lifestyle blogging and your lifestyle makeup and skincare separately under a different brand name, but your main core, I would highly recommend having one audience, one niche.
Yeah. Is it silly to think like my audience is just literally someone like me with all these interests?
Not not silly at all, and that's where our ideal client persona comes in. Funny enough, I've just run a module on that. I run a training group every Tuesday, and we've just been looking at that. Definitely not silly, but you will need to have characteristics. So, you know, are they X age? Are they working in London? Are they living in the country? Are they employed? Are they side hustlers? Whatever it might be, you'll need certain characteristics in order for you to target people properly.
Okay.
If you
Yeah,
want to talk deeper, Tina, let me put my email address into chat, and we can dive in a little bit deeper together.
sounds good. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, my absolute pleasure. Hi, Paul. Hi, Imogene.
Yeah, hi, Emma. I suppose I'm slightly older, so I suppose being
We've met,
more
Paul.
older
You're not
school,
that old.
more older school. I suppose I shy away from anything headed up digital and marketing. But I suppose, like everyone else, you've all got to try and get those new customers, and if I do anything, it's always at the bottom of my list. So I
I
suppose in an
think
ideal, I help people get commercial finance and work with all the high street banks and many other lenders. And I suppose in an ideal world, I would want to approach um, accountants, both existing ones I work with and potentially new ones, because they're going to have 100 or so business customers who might want to borrow money at some stage. But
yeah.
I say it's just one of those things that for me, it sits on the bottom of the list, and that never really seems to move anywhere, Emma.
I think we met maybe like a year ago now, I
That's
think.
good
And
memory. Yeah.
yeah, and I would personally treat your online presence is the same as you do as your offline. So whatever you do in a networking meeting, I
Yeah.
would 100% replicate that online. It's no different. We're only people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see it as a separate function because I think that's probably when like the resistance comes in. You're like, oh God, I can't contact that person. But like you would walk in the pub and just go, do you want to buy some commercial finance? And I think you could just replicate how you do it in real life online. I think for you, I know when we spoke before, I think networking groups would be more a quicker route to market for you personally,
Yeah.
and then back it up with the LinkedIn outreach, so connecting with accountants locally and
Yeah.
kind of building up that trust.
Okay. All right. Brilliant. Thank you. Yeah.
My absolute pleasure. But yeah, it doesn't need to be scary, and you don't need to be doing it for 24 hours a day because I'm guessing if you met 10 really good accountants that are going to give you leads and increase your pipeline, you don't need so many of them.
No, very much so. You're spot on there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, okay, thank you for that. Appreciate
Pleasure.
that.
I've got actually on the first Tuesday of every month, I have a networking group. So let me get that together. Everybody's welcome. It's free to attend. Let me just find that and I'll pop it into chat because again, just about being visible, isn't it? Because the more
Yeah,
eyeballs we can get on ourselves, the better. Let me just pop that into chat very quickly. Might be a moment. Okay, let me put this into chat. That leads me on quite nicely, actually, to one of the questions that I have been asked this week about how to get a consistent pipeline. And to my mind, there's two ways of doing it. One is to pay for it, and one is to do the hard, the slog route in terms of time. So you either spend the time doing it or you pay money to short circuit and get leads quickly. If you've got time, the best ways to build up these one-to-one connections, networking, webinars, individually reaching out, getting in front of large groups of people. So if you can do a talk on behalf of somebody, what I tend to get leads every time I do a talk or a webinar on behalf of an organisation that's got a community. That's worked really, really well for me in the past. Like I did a networking thing last Friday in front of 20 odd people, and we got a client immediately from that. So that's personally worked really well for me. If you don't have the time and you just want to get leads tomorrow, I would be recommending paid acquisition. So what I mean by that is things like Google ads, Facebook, Instagram ads, LinkedIn ads. The good news is they don't need to be absolutely fortunes. So we get our clients in some sectors leads for about 50p. And when I say a lead, I mean somebody's name, address, name, email address, and phone number. And then they go and prospect to that client thereafter. If you go onto LinkedIn, it can be hugely more expensive, especially in your line of work, Paul, commercial finance. There's a high value ticket item. But you don't need to remortgage your house before starting ads. I would be recommending nowadays a starting point of about £20 a day for a converting campaign. So you're getting somebody's contact details. If you just want eyeballs, or you just want brand awareness, or you just want people to know of you, you could start as little as a couple of quid a day. So you don't need to go hell for leather immediately. As you see traction, you could put more into what's working and dial back on the other stuff. Google's a fairly hungry beast in that I wouldn't be doing less than 20 quid a day. And again, with this paid stuff, it's all very well, but the minute you stop paying, the leads stop. So where you can, if you've got a website that's got good SEO, if you've got a good networking database, if you've got email, that works really well. You always find when Instagram or Facebook go down, the first thing people do is go, oh my God, I wish I had an email database of my own so I don't have to rely on the platform. So I personally would be encouraging you to, if you've got the money, get some quick wins on paid. If you don't have the money, but you've got the time, do the kind of old-fashioned route of collecting email addresses, being visible, being face-to-face. You will know what's right for your business. Some of you might be thinking, actually, I'm really great in front of people. I need somebody else just to bring me the leads and then I'll convert them. Other people might be thinking, actually, do you know what I really like? I really like doing the kind of donkey work behind the scenes and seeing how it all works. You will know what's best for you, but there's more than one way of skin a cat. It just depends on your appetite, how quickly you need the leads, how long it might take you to create content, for example, for a website, how long Google takes to rank it. If you want a lead within 48 hours, I'd be highly recommending running the campaign. Hey, I've thrown quite a lot at everyone there. Do keep asking me. We've got some time. We've got some time. So yeah, happy to help where I
Yeah, I've got a
can.
quick question, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So I've set aside a budget for advertising. I, in my not wisdom, thought that I would use Facebook.
But
somebody said to me,
is this for the dog lead business?
no, this is for the new digital marketing.
Right.
Somebody said to me that, I mean, we went a little bit off tangent because the website isn't WooCommerce and I won't be advertising a WooCommerce service. So I guess this is a question not related to anything in particular, but I was told that Facebook ads are no good for WooCommerce. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I've never heard that at all.
I must admit, I thought it was a bit weird.
Yeah, I've never heard that. I mean, as long as Facebook have got a link, they're pointing somebody to a reputable site and you've optimized that site for conversion. Because WooCommerce is such a big platform, surely they'd be cutting their nose off to spite their face if they didn't perform for WooCommerce.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I did think it was a bit weird because well, I won't go into it.
Yeah. I think the crucial thing for Facebook on conversion on purchase is that there's enough event data and Pixel's got enough wealth of information, because for someone to leave Facebook or Instagram and go and buy, you need a certain amount of trust. I wouldn't expect a stranger to see you once, go onto the website and buy immediately. You need to have a certain amount of kind of know, like, and trust factor on those type of ads versus somebody that's just seen your ad and going, oh yeah, that's nice, and kind of and scrolling on.
Yeah, as opposed to a dog lead, they might say, oh, I like that, and then just go and buy it.
Yeah, a dog lead's an impulse buy, isn't it? But even with a dog lead purchase, you still need to get enough data on Facebook to optimize for the people that are ready to buy there and then, as opposed to the people that are just happy to kind of view. And the cost of conversions on something like Facebook ad has increased dramatically since Apple changed their tracking. It's not as cheap to advertise. It's not as cheap to get a conversion. It's still possible, and you can certainly scale a business through it, but it's not like the Wild West days where you could put a 10p in and get a sale.
Yeah, thanks.
No, my absolute pleasure. Nick, Majine, Paul, anything else I can help you with?
Hello.
Hello.
So I'm a photographer and I mainly use Instagram, and I've started up on TikTok and as a way to create brand awareness and basically put myself out there. But I seem to get to this point where I put out a lot of content and then I just drop off. So and also given the fact that how the economy is going, people aren't necessarily going to want to pay like £600-700 for a brand photo shoot. They're not really chomping at the bit. So I've kind of come up with the idea of some lower ticket items, at least to keep myself going. And I'm just wondering, so it's like I've got all the pieces of the puzzle together, but there's like a little bit of a block where to put them all together. It's a bit, I'm kind of struggling a little bit because I do have a website. I do have even a portfolio site. I've got the social media stuff going, even Facebook, because you can't have an Instagram without a Facebook or something to that effect, because everything's linked now, just to confuse us even more. So yeah, any ideas of how can I possibly link sort of like the lower ticket items, and what can I do basically? The thing is I'm really good at telling other people what to do, but for myself, for my own business, it's a little bit of a.
What's the fear, if I might ask, like, what's the block? Is it that you don't want to be seen to suddenly be creating lower ticket items? Or is it that you're not sure how those low ticket items fit into the big scheme of the business?
Yeah, it's how do I sort of incorporate that into because the whole idea of the lower ticket items, that's fine for me, because I also want to give value, and I understand that not everybody has, the money to pay for it now, which is fine. But I think I'm I'm not sure what fully understand what the fear is, but there is a fear there. I need to work on that.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think, would it be the equivalent of like a headshot versus a full day shoot, for example?
Yeah, so basically I came up with a couple of ideas, which were to I can do a 20-minute consultation with them, with the brand, a small brand, if they want to get their, social media stuff up and running, what they can incorporate,
Yeah.
what they can think of, sort of like a consultancy, 20-minute consultancy. I could do mini shoots, so a 20-minute shoot where we can do headshots for their profile or for their website, that sort of thing.
I understand. So I would reframe it as something really, really exciting. And it's
Okay.
so wonderful that you've just launched a whole series of products aimed for the small business owner that's going to take them from ideation through to having their lovely headshot that they can use with pride and pleasure. This new series will be launched in X, and I would love you guys to pop your name on a wait list for when I launch, and that way you're going to understand who is interested before you even launch. And then a week before launch, have you seen, I've got a new series of products coming, available, limited availability, blah, blah, blah. And then the launch is, I've just done one of these for a trusted customer. You could get one of your kind of friends or do a guinea pig thing. Brilliant testimonial. Everyone come and rush to get these products. Blah, blah, blah. Limited. I've only got limited slots available this week. So absolutely reframe it as a way of becoming even more accessible, even more flexible, able to serve even more people, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that. That's a really good idea.
Does that help?
Yeah, it does. Because the other thing I thought of, and I don't know if you think this is a good idea, I was thinking of it'll be a once a week series where I take the different pain points or topics that I've heard of from clients and just doing, a couple of reels or videos and just say, here's some ideas that you could think of.
Yeah.
And using that sort of as a bit of a launch to say, if you're interested in learning more, understanding more, these are some of my options, kind of services that I offer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think really add value at the beginning, and then people will get to know, like, and trust you, and then be ready to buy.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Send me the details, Magina. I'd like to see it myself as well, because photography, I think, is a stumbling block for your average small business owner. Not many people like to see themselves on camera, so I'd love to see what your products include.
Oh, thank you. I will do. I'll let you know.
Thank you. Good luck with it.
Thank you.
So we've still got time. If anybody would like to ask another question, let me pop in. I've popped in the networking. I do one of these every month as well. So let me pop in my Eventbrite profile so that if you're not following me already, you'll get notified of when the next one is. And yeah, it's my absolute pleasure to be demystifying all this stuff, because it's not easy, and we're trying to do things all at once as small business owners. We're accountants, we're bookkeepers, we're marketers, we're HR, we're everything. So the more I can do to help, the better. But weirdly, it's not. I'm logged in already, so it's not going to let me. It's not going to let me do it. But I'll follow up by email, and everybody can have my profile. But if that has helped everybody, I'm super pleased that I could add value to today. Do follow me. I will keep doing these events every month. So I'm all ears. So thank you very much again. I will stop recording. Thank you, everybody.